Okay, here's the next thing I'm going to work on. This is the oil pressure gauge that I had in there. It's a Sun Pro. It's quite modern looking. It looks like, you know, it would fit into about anybody's car nowadays. Not really appropriate for that car. This is one that I found online. It's an old Stewart Warner gauge, quite old, big numbers on it. It's actually, you know, has the perfect look for this car, and it's probably a lot better gauge than that new one there. I didn't want to use this old plastic wire, and the plastic wire wouldn't fit on the Stewart Warner gauge without a fitting, and since I needed to make changes anyway, I went down to the parts store and got me some copper tubing. I'm going to put this thing in there with the copper tubing that way. This stuff here, it's really easy to burn through it. It's really easy to cut it on a piece of, you know, jagged metal. Saw a guy at a car show not long ago, cranked up his 55 Chevy and started making this huge puddle of oil on the ground. Well, he had cut this line and it was just dumping all his oil right out, and that's a real pain in the neck when that happens. So I don't want to be in a situation like that, so I'm going to put mine together with some good copper tubing, and when we get that done, maybe we'll wire up the amp gauge after that. Well, I got my new oil pressure gauge in here. Well, I'll say my new one. I got the old oil pressure gauge in here, and it kind of matches up right well with the speedometer. This one also has the plain black lettering and kind of big letters, so all three of these gauges match up. I've got an amp gauge over here that works that way too. It had a chrome case on it, and I painted that black this morning so it will match. I think that will fit in. In fact, it's probably just about dry. I think I could just about go ahead and set it in the dash, at least for effect. Let's see that. Well, it's just sticky enough where if I push on it much, I'll get paint on my fingers, and I think the black's a little shinier than the flat black on the other, but so what? I guess the rat rod police might pull me over and give me a ticket for having a shiny thing around my doohickey, but what the heck, you know, life is like that sometimes. Had a good time working on the old girl today. Yeah, sure did. That windshield looks pretty funny being so tall like that, but you know, it'll do for now. It'll be interesting to kind of see what it would look like if it was cut down. It seems like about the best way to do that is to stick something across there just to give my eyes something to read by, you know. I don't know if it would be tall enough if it was that high or not, but it sure would look cool. Probably would need to be a bit higher than that. But even if it was cut down to about there, it'd probably look a little better. Anyway, that ain't going to happen anytime soon. I got a lot more important things to work with. Oh, I also got my steering column all nice and firmed up. It was loose before, and I tightened it up good. Oh, and I was going to show you the oil pressure gauge. I used this good copper tubing on it. Ran it right in, you know, right through the firewall, and I insulated where it comes through there so it wouldn't be rubbing against the metal on the firewall. So that should work real nice. Anyway, it's enough of that. I gotta quit now, going to work in the morning. So we'll call it a day for the day, and come back at this another day soon. Y'all have a good one.